Hello friends, in this video let us discuss about estimation using long wall and short wall method. So we are having a single room of dimensions 5 meter horizontal and 4 meters vertical. So the works we are going to perform are earthwork excavation in foundation, concrete in foundation, brickwork in foundation and plinth, brickwork in superstructure. These are the four works we are going to perform, and this is a plan and this is a cross section of the one room building, single room building. So the plan of the superstructure is this one, and this is a cross section. We are having a concrete in foundation of 0.9 meters width and 0.3 meters height, that is 30 centimeters height. Similarly, footing 1 is of width 0.6 meters and height 0.3 meters, as you can see in the diagram. And for footing 2, the width is 0.5 meters and the height is 0.3 meters. For the plinth, the width is 0.4 meters and the height is 0.6 meters. And for the brickwork in superstructure, it is having a width of 0.3 meters and a height of 3.5 meters. So these are the things they have given to us in the plan and cross section. So let us get into the video. So first of all, what is long wall and what is short wall? The long wall is nothing but the wall along the length of the room is considered to be long wall. That is, the horizontal wall is considered to be long wall. The length of the long wall out to out, this is very important here. Out to out distance of the long wall is equals to center to center length plus 1 breadth. So this 1 breadth represents the breadth of item in the work pertaining to that work. For example, this 1 breadth is 0.3 meters in case of brickwork. It is 0.9 meters in case of concrete foundation, because the width of the foundation, concrete foundation, is 0.9 meters there. So this 1 breadth represents the width of the item of work we are performing. So what is short wall? Similarly, the wall which is perpendicular to the long wall is nothing but short wall. That means the vertical walls present in the plan are considered to be short walls. So length of the short wall into in length of the short wall is equals to center to center length of the short wall minus 1 breadth. Similar to the above thing, this 1 breadth also represents to the breadth of item pertaining to that work. So you will understand more clearly when we get into the problem. So now, first of all, we need to calculate the length of the long wall and the length of the short wall. The center to center length of the long wall is equals to 5 meter is the horizontal distance and half of the length of the half of the width of the wall plus half of the width of the wall. We are having width of the wall as 0.3 meters and we are having on either sides of that 5 meters we are having the wall. Therefore 5 meters plus 0.3 by 2 plus 0.3 by 2, which is equals to 5.3 meters. That is the center to center length of the long wall. Similarly, center to center length of the short wall is equals to 4 meters plus half of the width of the wall plus half of the width of the wall, which is 4.3 meters. Now, we have calculated the center to center length of long wall and short wall. Now let us calculate the out to out length of long wall and in to in length of short wall. The out to out length of long wall is equals to center to center length of long wall plus one breadth. This one breadth, as I have already told you, the one breadth is nothing but it is a width of the item we are going to perform the work. For example, first of all, we have to do the excavation work. For excavation, the width will be equal to the width of the concrete foundation. So here in the cross section, you can see the width of the Here in this cross section, you can see the width of the concrete foundation is 90 centimeters, which is 0.9 meters. Therefore, the one breadth here represents 0.9 meters. And center to center length of the long wall we have already calculated, which is 5.3 meters. Therefore, out to out length of the long wall in case of excavation work is equals to 5.3 meters plus 0.9 meters, which is equals to 6.2 meters. So here you can see the length of out to out length of long wall. So as you can see in the diagram, in the plan we will be considering only the width of the wall, but in case of actual work, the concrete foundation is projected inward and outward like this, which is of length 0.9 meters overall, and out of which half of the length is projected inward and half of the length is projected outward. But we are having here half and here half length projection, therefore we will be having total extra length, which is equals to width of the concrete foundation, which is added to the center to center length of long wall. The center to center length of long wall is 5.3 meters, and here we are having some projection outward, and here also we are having some projection outward, which is equals to the breadth of the work we are going to perform. First of all, we are doing excavation here, therefore the length of excavation, that is width of excavation, is equals to 0.9 meters, which is added to the center to center length of long wall, which gives the out to out length of long wall for excavation, which is equals to 6.2 meters. Now similarly, we are going to find out the length of short wall, which is in to in length. As I have already told you, the in to in length of short wall is equals to center to center length of short wall minus one breadth. We have calculated the center to center length of short wall, which is equals to 4.3 meters. And now the one breadth, which is equals to the width of the foundation, concrete foundation or excavation, both are same, therefore which is equals to 0.9 meters, and we got the length of the short wall into in length of the short wall as 3.4 meters. So as you can see in the diagram, the into in length is nothing but so here you can see the inner to inner distance is 4 meters, but the center to center length of short wall is 4 plus 0.3 by 2 plus 0.3 by 2, which is equals to 4.3. But why we are subtracting this one breadth from this? We are subtracting one breadth because we have already calculated one breadth value for the long wall, and this long wall for the projection for long wall is projected to this short wall as well. So we have to deduct that value from that short wall. So we are subtracting the width of the work we are going to perform from the length of the center to center length of the short wall. So that is the reason we are subtracting the value. Now the length of the short wall into in length of the short wall for foundation work. First of all, we have done excavation work. Now we are going to perform the foundation work. The values will be same for both excavation and foundation. So we don't have to calculate again. Now we are representing here the earthwork excavation in foundation in a tabular column. So as we are having two numbers of long walls and two numbers of short walls, in the numbers column we are keeping it as 2. Now the length of the long wall and short wall are calculated. The out to out length of long wall and in to in length of short wall are calculated and are noted in the length column as 6.2 meters and 3.4 meters respectively. The breadth of the item of work we are going to perform. For the excavation, as I have already told you, 0.9 meters is a width or breadth, so that is noted in the breadth column. And now for the breadth, the height of excavation is found from the cross section. Here you can see the dotted line represents the ground level, and up to that ground level we are having 0.3 plus 0.3 plus 0.3, which is equals to 0.9 meters. So the depth of the excavation is equals to 0.9 meters. Now by multiplying all the values, we will be getting the quantity in meter cube, that is 2 into 6.2 into 0.9 into 0.9 gives 10.04 meter cube, and for short wall 2 into 3.4 into 0.9 into 0.9 gives 5.51 meter cube. Overall, the volume of earthwork for excavation in foundation is equals to 15.55 meter cube. The next work we are doing the next work we have to do is concrete in foundation. The values will be almost same, only the depth will be changing, because in the cross section they have given the height of the concrete foundation as 0.3 centimeters. So therefore only the depth changes, because the width will be same for both excavation and concrete foundation. Therefore all the values except the depth column will be same, and the quantity is calculated, and the total quantity obtained for concrete in foundation is 5.18 meter cube of concrete. Now the next work we are going to perform is brickwork in footings. The length of the long wall and short wall has to be calculated again for both footing 1 footing 2 and plinth walls. As I have already told the formula for length of the long wall, out to out length of the long wall for first footing is equals to center to center length of long wall, which is 5.3 we have, and the width of the footing 1 is given as 0.6 in the diagram. So as you can see in the cross section, they have given the width of the footing 1 is 0.6 meters or 60 centimeters. Therefore the out to out length of long wall for first footing is equals to, I have noted that value in this note column. You can see there, out to out length of long wall for footing 1 is equals to 5.3 meters, which is of long wall, plus 0.6 meters, which is the width of footing 1, which is equals to 5.9 meters. Now for footing 2, the width of footing 2 is 0.5 meters or 50 centimeters. Therefore I have noted in this second row of note, which is the length of footing 2, out to out length of footing 2 is equals to center to center length of long wall plus width of the footing 2, which is given as 0.5 meters. Therefore the outer to outer length of long wall in footing 2 is 5.8 meters. Similarly, the length of center to center length of long wall is 5.3 meters, and the width of plinth wall is 0.4 meters, which is given in the cross section. I'll show you. So here we can see in the cross section the width of the plinth wall is 0.4 meters or 40 centimeters. Therefore I have noted here the value, and the length of outer to outer length of plinth wall is equals to 5.3 plus 0.4, which is equals to 5.7 meters. As we have found the outer to outer lengths of footing 1, 2 and plinth wall, now we can directly go for calculation of brickwork in foundations and plinth. Therefore for first footing, second footing and plinth walls, we are having 2 in number. The length we have calculated just now, I have noted down in the column, length column, as 5.9 meters for footing 1, 5.8 meters for footing 2 and 5.7 for plinth wall. Now breadth is also noted in the breadth column, which is 0.6, 0.5 and 0.4 respectively. The breadth values are also noted as 0.3 meters, 0.3 meters and 0.6 meters respectively. Now the quantities obtained for footing 1, footing 2 and plinth wall are 2.1 cube meter cube, 1.74 meter cube and 2.74 meter cube respectively. Now similarly we are going to calculate the length of the short wall for first footing, second footing and plinth walls with the formula known to us, which is the of short wall for footing 1 is equals to center to center length of short wall, which is 4.3 minus 1 breadth of first footing, which is equals to 0.6 meters. Therefore inner to inner length of short wall for footing 1 is equals to 3.7 meters, and similarly the inner to inner length of short wall for footing 2 is equals to 4.3 minus 0.5. 0.5 is the width of footing 2, which is equals to 3.08 meters is the inner to inner length of short wall for footing 2. Now Similarly, inner to inner length of plinth wall is equals to 4.3 minus width of the plinth wall 0.4 meters, which is 3.9 meters. Now, by noting down the values of this obtained length values in the length column and breadth values and depth values in column 2 and column in breadth column and depth column, we can obtain the quantity by multiplying all these values, and the quantities obtained are 1.33, 1.14, 1.87 meter cube respectively. Therefore, the total amount of brickwork obtained, that is the total volume of brickwork obtained in foundation and plinth, is equals to 10.95 meter cube. Now we have to calculate the brickwork in superstructure. Brickwork in superstructure is equals to, for calculating the brickwork in superstructure also, we have to calculate the length of the long wall and short wall with the same formula. As we have known, the outer to outer length of long wall for wall construction is equals to the center to center length plus width of the wall. Width of the wall is given as 30 centimeters or 0.3 meters. That is, you can see in the cross section it has 30 centimeters. Therefore, 5.3 plus 0.3 is equals to 5.6 meters is the outer to outer length of long wall. And now the inner to inner length of short wall is equals to the 4.3 meters, that is center to center length of short wall, minus width of the wall, which is 0.3 meters. Therefore, inner to inner length of short wall is 4 meters for brickwork. Now, by noting down these length values in the length column and numbers column, we are going to put 2 in both the long wall and short wall because we are having 2 long walls and 2 short walls. The length column, we are noting the values 5.6 meters and 4 meters respectively. And in the breadth column, we know the breadth of the wall is 0.3 meters and 0.3 meters. And now the height of the wall is given as you can see in the cross section, they have mentioned the height of the wall is equals to 3.5 meters for both the short wall and the long wall. That I have noted in the height column. Now we are going to calculate all the values. We are going to multiply all the values and we will be getting the quantities as 11.46 meter cube of brick for long walls in superstructure and 8.4 meter cubes of bricks in short wall construction. And overall brickwork required in superstructure is equals to 20.16. The overall brickwork required in superstructure is equals to 20.16 meter cube. So that's it about the estimation of the 4 things we have done using the long wall short wall method. I hope you have understood everything. Thank you for bearing with me.